Call me Alvin Ho. I was born scared, and I am still scared. And this is my book of scary stories. I tell the truth mostly, on account of that's what happens when you're all freaked out. You tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. And if you've read my other books, you know that they get scarier and scarier. Which means that the book you're holding should have made you run away by the title alone. So, if you're afraid of creepy stories, you might want to put this book down and read something else. Like Charlotte's Web or Alice in Wonderland. 2 books about girls and girl stories, as everyone knows, are not nearly as terrifying as boy stories. On a second thought, maybe you should read the dictionary, which isn't frightening at all, until you get to abominable snowman, noun, a large legendary man-like or ape-like creature. Gulp. Never mind. But if you're still reading this, don't turn the page. If you do, don't say I didn't warn you. Normally on this page, I tell you all the things that scare me, such as book reports, reading in class, thunder, lightning, poisoned darts, poisoned apples, fairy tales, vampires, principals, drowning in the bathtub. But this is not normal. There's no time for all that. There's not even time to tell you that I live in Concord, Massachusetts, which is hard to spell. Or that this was once a fantastic town where the American Revolutionary War began, with lots of explosions and bad language and dead bodies on all the lawns. But it's not that kind of town anymore. It's now a boring place on account of explosions and bad language have been outlawed, except on Patriots' Day, which is when they try to start the American Revolutionary War all over again every year, charging and firing and cursing at one another, just like in the old days. But if you try to start a war or use a bad word any other day, you've got all sorts of trouble coming to you, and none of the red bean mochi cakes that your popo made. And as for dead bodies all over the place, I'll get to that soon enough. But first, I need to start with my history test. Miss P announced that we were going to have a history test in 2nd grade very soon. This wouldn't be so frightening if I hadn't already taken the practice test, which was more than I could bear. Worse, I couldn't ask for help. I can't speak in school. I can scream my head off on the bus, but as soon as I get to school, my voice doesn't work. I'm as silent as a hard-boiled egg. This is on account of I have so-so performance anxiety disorder, which is a fancy way of saying school freaks me out. And tests freak me out even more. At our school, there aren't any tests in kindergarten or 1st grade. You just go to class and you learn something new every day. But in 2nd grade, there are tests, which aren't about learning anything new at all, but about remembering something old, which is truly frightful on account of I can't even remember yesterday. Worse, you need to try to pass the test, even the practice one. Maybe this wouldn't be so bad if they told me beforehand that I needed to pass the test, but they didn't tell me this until afterwards. Then it was too late. Even worse, an envelope came home marked, "To the parents of Alvin Ho." "You're not supposed to open that," said my brother Calvin, throwing his backpack on the kitchen floor after school. I threw mine too, but I hung on to the envelope. "Why not?" I said. "Are you your own parent?" asked Calvin. "No," I said. "That's why," said Calvin. "To the parents of" means that letter is private and that your teacher wants to tell Mom and Dad something about you that she doesn't want you to hear. "I knew that," I said, "but I really didn't. Maybe I figured out some of it by myself. Sort of. But I definitely couldn't say it the way Calvin could. So it was a good thing that my Mom and Dad were at work and that GungGung was babysitting. I put the letter away. After a few days, when it was too late to give it to the parents of Alvin Ho without some sort of trouble, and I couldn't stand it any longer, I ripped open the letter and read it. Then I was very sorry I did. There was nothing in the letter that said anything good about me. If the parents of Alvin Ho read it, there would be weeping, mine, and gnashing of teeth, my dad's, in Concord tonight. That's for sure. So I pushed it, along with my test, into the garbage disposal between the fish skeleton and the coffee grounds, where it should have disappeared. But it didn't. Who would have thought that the disposal was allergic to tests and scary letters, and would vomit it so my mom could read it? "It doesn't even look like you were ever in class," screamed my dad when he saw the scary test and read the even scarier letter.